movie review, right? Or
Sure.
going?
No, it's the newer one, so yeah, I would go with what you guys do.
Okay. Anytime?
Good.
Alright. Hello! Welcome to The Real Frame of Mind presents Movie Review, where we take a movie that recently came out, or is, relatively recent, and we review it in a short little video. I am Damon Gumbert. I am here with Scott Nemi and Trace Patchen. And today we are reviewing the Golden Globe award-winning movie. I don't know what I was going with that. Movie La La Land, starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, directed by Damien Chazelle. I believe we all have the same opinion of this movie. I loved it. I think I walked out of this movie the happiest I've ever walked out of a movie in my life. Just fully, encapsulated into the movie and just, walked out with, an actual smile on my face. Instead of, just kind of thinking about it, yeah, it was a really good movie. This one, I was just holy shit, that was amazing.
Just an overall good time.
Everything about it was
when
so
I
lovely.
saw it, I had a lot going against me. I went to a late showing. I was sick, and I didn't really want to go to a movie, but I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what that feeling.
But and then I think the moment the movie just clicked with me was technically the second time or the first time the exchange, dialogue when he's performing at that club or that house party, in his band.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, this is great. This just their chemistry, which just sold me for the rest of the movie. And I was just.
It was fantastic.
Just on.
It was just the looks they gave each other at that moment.
It was good.
Scott, what did you think?
Well, I think in the interview that I did with you, I was saying about how hard. I mean, I'm a musical fan in a way. I like good musicals. So any musical that you think is good, just look it up, and it's probably got a decent review. I don't really go outside the box for that.
Yeah.
Not a huge Newsies fan.
Yeah.
But I think it's extremely difficult to direct something as big as a musical, and then it's even more difficult to direct a musical that's good. It's the music is everything for me, and I'm very, very picky with music, man. If it's not something that I would listen to 1,000 times over, I'm not
Catchy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna love it. And even with great film scores too, it's gotta hit me the right way. And man, throughout that movie, they kept hitting and hitting and hitting. But I love classic musicals, and all of a sudden they start tap dancing, and you get these little bubbles in your stomach of oh yeah, I remember seeing that and Singing in the Rain, or classic music, My Fair Lady and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of a blast from the past, but also in a newer day, which which is so awesome.
I think that was one of the things that really struck me about the movie, because I was kind of expecting throughout, and especially towards the end, for it to just be this classic musical ending where everything ends up being super happy and everyone is, everything works out in the end. And that's not how it happened. It was very more New Age, where it was just not everything ends out super nice cut, neat and everything like that.
Well, and I think that's what that's why this film works.
Yeah.
Because although it's still giving homage to all these previous films, and just Hollywood in general from back in the day, it's still its own, I guess, on its own film on the same right, that it doesn't even when there's just interactions and regular dialogue, non-musical notes, it doesn't feel like you're forcing an over-dramatic musical, something like a la Grease, right?
Yeah.
It felt like a big production. This felt genuine outside of the realm of the actual pieces, what I mean?
You make a great segue. I mean, it's the story underneath that is layered with each song and dance number that they have. But without that story, and it's a good story, you could do away with all the songs and all the dancing and everything like that, and just watch that story and still fall in love with it. And I think that's one of the biggest things I go back to. I mean, again, I love the music. I've been listening to it, since I went to see it, weeks ago.
Yeah.
But without that story, and especially the ending, I I don't think it could be as good as it did. And that's even sitting there in a packed theater, trying to hold in like laughter and stuff, like just thinking like, why do I have to sit in the room with these people? And then all of a sudden you just kind of let yourself go because you have to, because it's that good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just, you're done. Then you're laughing along with the crowd. It makes it even more of a unforgettable experience. So
Yeah.
Definitely. I completely agree.
You mentioned the dancing and everything. I thought the choreography was amazing.
Yeah.
From scene to scene, especially the opening scene with like the cars, the dancing
it's
around
unique.
the cars, and then throughout the movie there was just big dance numbers, and it looked flawless to me.
Yeah,
I didn't.
And again, I just go back to the fact that it just like, even when it got kind of like out there, like in the planetarium when they're floating and everything, it just for some reason just worked. It just clicked in it, and it didn't feel awkward or strange. It just was like, yes, this is awesome. I don't care that they're floating in the air right now. This is just great. It's a great movie experience.
And that was a great scene because it kind of it led you to believe that they were truly falling in love, like they were literally floating on air because they were with each other.
Exactly. And then, you stole the words right out of my mouth. If that scene isn't paired, that number where they dance and everything with that song, if that's not paired, with that specific scene, it doesn't work.
No.
And it's like going back to Grease, and I love Grease, but at the end when all of a sudden they just start flying in that car,
it's just like kind of like, okay,
what is that all about? Now if you had that when their first meeting, or at some other point in the film, then maybe it would have worked better. But all of a sudden they're just like, here we go, we're flying. And but I definitely thought it fit well, and that was the biggest stretch for me.
I think Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. I just think all music, like everything else, all the other elements aside, I think the biggest thing of this film that made me like just be completely glued in was the chemistry between Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. I've liked Ryan Gosling before, but I've never was fully invested in Emma Stone prior to this film. And now I am. I really appreciated her work in this movie, and it
helps
made
that
me like her a lot more.
They've done at least one movie before this, which was Crazy Stupid Love.
They did. This is their fourth movie.
Fourth movie.
Yeah. So that one.
Should not name any of the other two.
They did Gangster Squad.
Squad.
And there's a third one that I'm escaping me right now. But yes, it's the fourth movie.
So, is there anything that you would say you didn't like about the movie? Like, what do you think was the weakest part?
The only nitpick for me was that it did take me a while to get like into it, I guess. Like the opening scene was cool and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like, I don't know, I had to be like like if I was to watch the whole movie again and then rewatch it, I'd be like, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? But the fact that it just took me a little bit to get grabbed, I guess. And then from there, I really don't have a whole lot of complaints.
I would agree with the first number, but I think I asked you about it, Damon, and I think you wrapped it or summed it up pretty well. It's like, it's the introduction of what's going to happen, what's about to unfold, trying to just, kicking you in the nuts and getting it over with, so then you can just relax.
Yeah,
and enjoy it.
It's the introduction to the fact that it's a musical. Like, there are going to be musical numbers, so they give you a huge musical number to start it off with. To be
That's true. That's a good way to put it.
Here's your musical.
It's so fun to watch the movement too.
It is.
I mean, it's remarkable.
For sure. Yeah, the camera movement is amazing. Like, they must have had that thing like on a crane, or like had someone hanging from a crane just to like be able to move it. That
preparation for something.
Yeah,
that too,
is,
because it was
my
pretty much one or two shots for that opening scene.
Yeah.
So like
for an indie movie, this must have had like a fairly large budget, because they did some pretty sweet stuff.
I think praise has to go to the Damien Chazelle. Chazelle, because I don't know, this is his second like major motion picture, and I think he's just killed it with both of his films. Whiplash being the first.
Yeah, you could tell too. They had that one of the biggest things that I take away from Whiplash and him as a director, like a little director stand, is that he loves those whip pans. And he had it in this too. And if I were not watching it, that was the first thing I would think of is, dude, Whiplash.
Yeah, sure.
Was, at the end when it's, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. The old guy that won the Oscar.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons and Miles Teller when they're doing back and forth.
Yeah,
on the story.
that's exactly what I was just thinking when you said whip pans. I was like, you mean the ending where they just keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's good.
So yeah, let's do grades. Trace, what do you think?
I'm going to. Oh man, it's tough. It's so. And I've only seen it the once, but I'm like teetering A+A right now. I'll say A just to be safe because I've
Okay.
only seen it the once.
Okay. Scott?
Agree. I'm
Eh?
and the exact same thought. I've
Yeah.
only seen it once, and I want to see it again.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Like
I
wanted
love that build up.
to, yeah, I wanted to go see it like again that day. Like I haven't had a feeling like that for a movie for
Exactly.
a while. Arrival, probably my last one.
I'm gonna give it an A+. I walked out of that theater, as I said, super happy. The only word I've ever used to describe this movie was lovely. Like, the entire experience was lovely. I mean, not my experience in the theater, that was shit. And I won't even go into that. But the movie was just so lovely. Like, everything about it was amazing to me. So I give it a straight A+.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, so that does it for this episode of Movie Review. Scott, help me out here.
Dude, just subscribe, man. Like, we got a bunch of bogus raps, like people who want to subscribe and want us to subscribe back, and then they revoke their subscription. So, like, once at like 219, we're back at 200. So if you guys could throw us, I mean, just it's all it is signing in with your Gmail. It's that simple. Just sign in with Gmail and subscribe to us. It's
Yes.
that simple. You help us out as long as we stay above that 200, and I'm happy. So
Yeah,
Definitely.
We got to a certain point we want to stay there.
or get high. I don't know.
See us on Twitter, on Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Deuces.
Oh shit.